Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back. I think the best way to introduce our next guest is to let the videotape tell the story. It's April 1974, Atlanta Stadium, and something historic is about to happen. Recently voted into baseball's Hall of Fame, here's Mr. Hank Aaron. Hank? Pleasure to meet you. That's exciting to see that. I guess you've seen it several times by now, huh?
You get little goose pimples on it.
Yeah. Did you get a phone call from the White House after that, or?
Believe it or not, I did. Well, you know, the funniest thing about that day, that night, after I hit the home run, I went back to left field, and I was standing in my position to catch a fly ball, and Donald Davis, and our traveling secretary, was running down left field line. He was telling me the president was on telephone. And I said, well, fine, Donald. I said, but what do you want me to do, stop the ball game? I said, just put the president on hold and I'll be right with him. and sure enough, right after the inning, I went running up the steps, and Coach President was on telephone, and he was inviting myself and my wife to be his guests at the White House.
This would be President
Nixon. Right. You said it. But anyhow, I answered the telephone. He said, Henry, I said, I would like for you to be my guest at the White House. I said, what, fine, Mr. President. I said, thank you very much. I said, when do you want me to be your guest? He said, as soon as possible. Hell, I didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah. Didn't make it quickly enough. How do you stack up with some of these guys who were your peers, Pete Rose, physically? Now, you've retired 5-6 years ago.
Well, I don't make quite as much money as Pete. My cap stayed on my head, of course.
Now, what's that? Now, some ball players, Willie Mays, one of the greatest, would lose his cap. Roberto Clemente, another fine ball player, one of the greatest, lost his cap. You didn't have that problem, Hank. What's...
Well, I think one reason they always gave me one that fit. I gave them the right size, but no. I think, you know, really, I just played the game the way it was supposed to be played. You know, if you'll notice, and I'm sure a lot of people around the country have seen Joe DiMaggio play baseball, and who was truly one of the greatest stars that ever played the game. He did things the way it was supposed to be done. I made a few mistakes. I was not flashy, but you know, why should I run after fly ball when it's 20 rows in the stand? You know, I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
See, what you're implying here, what I'm hearing a little bit of is you're saying some of these guys may have been hot dogs, just a little there.
Well, I'm going to leave that alone. You said it.
Well, no, I don't want Pete Rose coming looking for me. But now, who's between the two, you and Pete, who would be, let's just, for example, pick a skill here, the better runner, the quicker, the faster?
Oh, no question about it. I was a better runner than Pete. No, and I don't mean that to try to downgrade Pete, because he is truly one of the great ball players in this country. But But
Not sure. Not sure what happened over there.
But you know, I could run the bases pretty well.
You know, I got to tell you this, and everybody tells you this. I wasn't in Atlanta when you parked 7:15, but I was in Cincinnati when you knocked out 7:14, and that was the one that tied the record. And for me, it was a huge thrill, and I don't know, I just had to get that in. Now. One of those things, I started talking, I realized I didn't have much to say, and I felt like, well, I'll finish it up. I think I'm faster than Pete Rose, too. Now, let's see, what else? You, during that time, a lot of pressure on you, I guess, huh?
Well, I did have a lot of pressure on me. It was about 2.5 years, you know, constantly being harassed by the press. Mm-hmm. The same questions. Why didn't you hit a home run tonight? Even if I would go 4 for 4. Why didn't you hit a home run? Why did you take this pitch? It was pressure because if you've never played the game of baseball, people don't realize that you just can't walk up to the plate and hit a home run anytime you want to. You know.
Now, I was under the impression that you said that night in Atlanta you felt like you were going to do it. You wanted to get it over with, right?
I felt like I wanted to get it over with. I was happy that I got it over with for 2 reasons. One, for my teammates, and the other ones were because of the fact that I wanted to go back and start playing baseball the way I know how to play it.
Yeah. Now, let's get up to present. Recently, you were voted into the Hall of Fame at your earliest opportunity of eligibility, and this happens regardless of who the player is. You were not a unanimous vote. 9 writers decided Henry Aaron wasn't quite ready to go into the Hall of Fame. Now,
they were asleep. They were asleep.
But they do that with everybody. Now, what is the deal on that?
Well, I don't know, you know, but I'm going to give you my reason for that is because I think that, you know, even before those 9 writers did not vote for me, I was called on the telephone by several sports writers that told me that, you know, Joe DiMaggio was not a unanimous choice. Willie Mays was not a unanimous choice.
Babe Ruth was not.
Babe Ruth,
Ty
Cobb
was not.
And you can go on and on and on. Well, you know, I'm not saying that I should have been a unanimous choice, but I think that if they're going to start saying that simply because those other guys were not a unanimous choice, I think that's wrong. You know, every ball player should be judged on his own merit and how he produced and what he did on the field rather than talking about other players.
Yeah. Did you ever have any difficulty with umpires? Ever get fights, kick dirt on them, tossed out of games?
Oh, I felt like kicking dirt on a few of them, but never had in a fight. Never got kicked out of a ball game.
What are the regulations? What can you do to an umpire? You can't kick dirt on them, can you? Or can you?
No, you can't spit in their face.
No.
And you got
You folks at home may want to take these down.
And you have to make sure that you brush your teeth.
We're going to pause here. No, we're not going to pause here. We're going to say goodbye. Thank you. I'm new at the job. Hank, it was a pleasure. I've been a big fan of yours for years. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron, Al Albert, WNBC Sports. In your long and illustrious career, was that the toughest interview you've ever gone through?
That was really tough, but I enjoyed it.
Did he throw you any curves?
Believe it or not, he threw me probably one of the best curveballs I've ever seen, but I enjoyed it. I thought he was a great interview.
How would you rate that? A single, double, triple, or a home run?
I would have to rate it as a home run.
Yes, he's being known as a slugger around here right now.
I thought David did a terrific job. It was great.
Would you place him in the same league as a Carson and the others?
Well, I've never been interviewed by Johnny Carson, but I would have to say that as far as I'm concerned, David is on top.
Never been interviewed. I guess that's why he's being called Scoop Letterman. Hank Aaron, thank you very much. Hank Aaron coming through once again. Al Albert, back to you, David.
Thank you very much. Al Albert, NBC Sports, and Hank Aaron. Coming up, Irving Caesar. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. And tonight is the first night, that's right, the national pastime of this great land of ours is back. And of course, I'm talking about drug testing. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, because... What do you think? Now, Paul, you know who's across the hall? All-time home run leader, Henry Hank the Hammer Aaron.
Hank Aaron really is here?
Now, should we do this or not? Well, you don't even know what we're going to do. We thought it might be nice, since tonight is opening day. The Reds played the Phillies, and the Tigers played who, Paul?
The Tigers played a fabulous game of baseball.
Yeah, but who did they play?
With the Red Sox.
Oh, it was the Tigers and the Red Sox?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Okay. And so anyway, today is opening day, and we thought for the heck of it we'd get Henry Hank the Hammer, or is it Hank Henry the Hammer? Doesn't make any difference. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Hank Henry the Hammer.
Listen to how many home runs he hit in his career. 19,000. So we thought we'd get him in here and have him toss out the first joke of the new season. Is that Cover me. Where is he? Where is he? We're looking. How do you do, gentlemen? George, nice to see you. It's George Brett, ladies and gentlemen. Gold Glove, third baseman for the Kansas City Royals. World champion, Kansas City Royals. Excuse me. You're not Henry Aaron, are you? No, it's just a joke. It's not Henry Aaron. Where is Henry?
He's down at 6.
He's down where? Which is 6B4? Right here? Is this it? 6B3? Let's just see if he's here. Let's just see if he's here. Henry? Hi, is Henry here?
Hello.
Hi, nice to see you.
Alicia.
Alicia, so nice to meet you. How are you? Here?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Henry. Hank Aaron, ladies and gentlemen. Good. Can you do us a favor? Come on in here. We want you to throw out the first joke. Do you mind just coming in here? Yeah. Well, watch yourself, Henry. Oh, easy. Watch you get. Oh, Henry breaks a leg. Boy, there's lawsuits aplenty. Come on in and just say hello to the folks. You know George? You know George Brett? There's George Brett right there. Henry Aaron. Okay, come on in, Henry. Quick. Okay. Okay. Now,
That's going to be shown.
yeah. You know, everybody says they saw you hit 715, right? You hear that?
I did. I saw it.
Yeah, you saw it. Sure you did. Well, of course you saw it. I saw you hit 714.
Okay.
It was at the Riverfront Stadium.
Right.
Yeah, put it in the deep right center field seats. Okay. Here we go, Henry. We want you to do the first joke of the season. And let's see if that's one he can...
I don't have my glasses.
That's all right. That's all right. Can you do that? Just read it right off of there. This is the first joke of the season.
Tonight, a landmark program. New York 2.
Okay, we all set?
I didn't do it right.
No, that's okay, go ahead, Henry. Go ahead. Now start over.
On ABC tonight, a landmark program. New York 2 loveliest...
No, that's My Two Loves.
Oh, my... See, I told
My
you.
Two Loves.
Very serious look at bisexuality.
Bisexuality.
If you don't count that very special episode, Sanford and Son...
Yeah! Thank you very much, Henry. Do you mind signing the card for our cue card man, Kevin Kay?
Okay.
The first joke of the season, Paul.
Yeah. Gotta get it out of
Paul Schaefer, Henry Aaron.
Oh, how you doing?
Hank, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Hank. Have a good season, whatever you're doing.
I was on your show first.
I know you were on the show.
right.
Yeah, what, you had trouble with the check?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to hide my
Sit back and see. Henry Aaron. That was probably not a great joke to begin the season with, was it?
No.
This is the one we should have started with. We have good news and bad news tonight. Rona Barrett is leaving entertainment tonight to write her autobiography. I'll let you people figure out which is the good news and which is the bad news. And finally, Pia Zadora purchased a minor league baseball team, the Portland Beavers. I don't have a joke here. I just like making the NBC censor nervous. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, look at this lineup of... now, this is a strange group. George Brett, of course, you met. Academy Award-winning director Milos Forman and Eddie Layton with our band, ladies and gentlemen. He's over there now with Paul. And Eddie, how are you? Now what do? We go up here? Eddie, Joe was pretty good, isn't he?
He rocked out.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's exciting music. Like I say periodically, it makes you want to get down to Hurley's and pick fights. That kind of music.
Let's go.
All right, you, me, as long as Joe is going. I ain't going down there just you and me to pick fights.
We'll bring him.
Joe goes.
Yeah,
and Henry. We'll take Henry. The four
Get
of
him
us
out
will
here.
go down and pick fights. And maybe Phil.
All right.
Yeah, and Dwight, the troubled teen, of course. We'll take, and hell, why not bring Meg as long as we're... Our next guest is one of baseball's all-time greats. But he's probably best remembered for his 715th home run, which broke Babe Ruth's record. There it is in Atlanta. Here I have a copy of his new autobiography. It's entitled, I Had a Hammer. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Hall of Famer, Hammer and Hank Aaron. Nice to see you. You know, just thinking about it, is this the first book that you've written?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like it's long overdue because you have your playing days. How long have you been out of the game actively?
76 for my last year.
Yeah, so normally guys would have a book right out. Why did you wait so long to write a book?
Well, I wanted to give people a chance to think about it.
Well, that's what I've been doing.
Dave, you know what? I was on your third show. You remember?
That's right. Many years ago.
1,339.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
right.
finally decided to have me back.
Well, thank you for coming back. You know, the baseball season hasn't started yet, and there's already a lot to talk about. Bo Jackson, an injury to his hip. The Kansas City Royals announced that they're waiving him for unconditional release. How does that make you feel as a former ball player?
Well, I don't know enough about the Bo Jackson to give you an intelligent answer. The only thing I can say, I think Bo has been blessed. He's played 2 sports and really been good.
Yeah.
And done very well in both sports. So I think he's played much longer and has done much better than I had anticipated.
Yeah, but by comparison, certainly to you played, what, 25 years?
23.
23 years. Here's a guy who has been in the major leagues how long? 4 or 5 years at the most?
You know, we have quite a few athletes nowadays are playing what they call multiple sports. You know, Deion Sanders, who's in our camp now.
Oh, that's right. Same deal.
Yeah,
sure.
done well. You know, Bo Jackson has been blessed because he really has had a football body and played a little bit of baseball.
That's right.
Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because last year I think he went out with a hamstring, but he's done quite well.
Yeah.
And
do you think it was and it's hard to put words for his actions, but do you think it was a conceit to his ego to continue to play 2 sports?
No, I don't. I think that he was blessed. I don't think... You remember Gene Connolly used to play with the Boston Braves and the Milwaukee Braves?
No.
Well, that was before your time. Sorry about that. But anyhow, you know, Gene Connolly was blessed. You know, he was a Boston Celtic, played basketball, and pitched for a long time with the Boston Braves. Some athletes are blessed with the body. Now, you know, Bo Jackson, of course, he has the body to play football. And you'll notice he has the huge thighs. And last year he was hurt quite often. And this year, of course, he pulled that hip. And
I think everybody hopes that whatever the injury is, if it keeps him out of one sport or the other, at least he could come back and play.
Right.
Probably baseball. We'd like to see him come back.
And I don't know whether this injury is going to keep him out of both sports or not. You know.
I played 2 sports, you know.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cricket, and what else?
No. High-lie and fly fishing. The same motion. It's easier. Jim Palmer. Here's a guy. He's about your age, Jim Palmer, and he's coming back. What was the deal on that?
The only thing I just don't have is body. I can't wear the underwears like he does. No, I think I really can't say whether Jim Palmer was actually trying to come back. He done well, you know, but it's kind of hard David, to go out of, no matter what it is, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, and stay out for 5 years and decide that you want to come back and resume the same career. Yeah. It's just tough.
I think the tough part of it is the staying away, because you've got to completely shift the emphasis, the focus of your life.
That's true.
Since the time you're a little kid in Little League Baseball, many people, the lucky few, yourself included, are directing themselves toward a career in professional athletics. And then when suddenly that changes, maybe against your desires, it's got to be very, very tough psychologically.
I think so. And you know, a lot of people have asked me whether this was a gimmick on Jim Palmer. I think he was sincere.
I think he was also.
I really do. I believe he's sincere. I think he wanted to come back. I think he really wanted to come back and resume his career. It just so happened that Mother Nature caught up with him.
You know, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm struck by the fact that baseball's been around for 100 years, 120 years?
Yes.
Long time.
Right.
And who are the true legends of the game that will be talked about and remembered for another 100 years? And you certainly would be one of them.
Well, thank you very much.
Did you, in all of the time that you were playing, were there guys who had your number? Were there pitchers you couldn't hit? Was there one guy or a couple of guys or a team that dominated you for no explainable reason?
You know, that was a pitcher probably a lot of your audience, and probably you're not going to even remember, is Curt Simmons.
Curt Simmons.
Curt Simmons was probably the toughest pitcher on me that I can think of.
Left-hander?
He was a left-hander, and he threw, at one point in his career, threw very hard. Then later on, after he had his toe injured, he'd start throwing a lot of junk. But he gave me a lot of trouble. Well, the rest of them, we had an understanding.
The book, I really think, Hank, this is a long time coming. It's the Hank Aaron story. It's called I Had a Hammer. And it must have been fun to write this, huh?
It is. And, you know, David, the thing I like about this book, it's not a typical baseball book.
Yeah, there's some recipes in here. We have to do a commercial. We'll be back here. Paul Schaefer and the Thing. Nice job. Bruce Kapler.
Bruce with the Thing.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our next guest is a living legend, a Hall of Famer, and one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Please welcome Hammerin' Hank Aaron, everybody. Hank Aaron, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, it's nice to see you again, Hank.
Thank you very much, David.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
How's life treating you these days?
It's getting better.
Are you working in Major League Baseball anymore? I know you had some positions with the organization. What do you do now?
I am staying employed with the Atlanta Braves.
With the Atlanta Braves?
Yes.
In what capacity down there?
Well, actually, I'm helping Kerry McGrady. He's a senior he's a vice president. Yes.
And how do things look for the Atlanta Braves now?
It looks very well. I mean, I think if we can just not get hurt, I think the ball club is going to do well.
When you, when I think about, we looked at the videotape there of the record-breaking home run, and when I think about my experience as a kid watching baseball, it's certainly a different game now, isn't it?
It is.
But as a player, a dominating force in baseball for 25 years, what differences strike you when you see a game, when you're watching a game now?
I think the thing that troubles me most is the length of the game. I would like to see the game shorten a little bit more. And I don't know how we can do it, but you know, in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, you may see 3 or 4 different type pitchers go out and pitch to one batter. Somewhere we just got to shorten the game up a little bit.
You know, Hank, you may not believe this, and you don't have to believe this, but I have been saying exactly the same thing
I believe it.
For the last 15
I
years.
believe you. I
mean,
believe you.
You can
Yes.
leave in the third inning, go out, look for an apartment, and come back, and the game is still going on. I mean,
you know, David. You know what bothers me most is because we're kind of spoiled when you see pitchers like Koufax and Gibson.
Yeah.
And those guys pitch the ball game in an hour, you know. And I tell a lot of people, I say, you know, it's a funny thing about those two pitchers, and maybe a few more, is that when you get in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, you can call your wife up, or girlfriend, and tell her, say, put the supper on because I'll be home in a few minutes. Yeah. You can't do that now.
Can't do it now at all.
No, you can't do it.
You mentioned
Yes.
Bob Gibson. Now, these are guys you played with, for heaven's
Yes.
sake. I mean,
Yes.
nobody plays Major League Baseball for 25 years anymore.
No,
do they?
no.
What
not
was Bob
anymore.
Gibson like? I've heard just horror stories about what a grueling competitor he was, and not afraid to just right in there, just bring it right in there.
And he would even knock you down in your own deck circle.
That's pretty good. That's tremendous. And we were talking about your hitting, and if you take the home runs out of it, you have a career in which you hit you had 3,000 base hits anyway, even without the home runs.
Yes.
You didn't like striking out, did you?
That was the worst. That was the most embarrassing thing in the world. I remember my 3rd year, I faced Sam Jones, and he struck me out 3 times in Chicago once. And I made sure I carried him out to dinner that night, and I looked him in the face, and I told him, you'll never have that opportunity again. And I meant it. And from that day on, he and I had an understanding.
When you see guys today that pitching, I don't know, they got kids coming up pitching 100 miles an hour on a routine basis. What was the fastest pitcher you had to face?
Well,
it wasn't in the hundreds then, was it?
You know, Koufax could throw a ball almost 100 miles an hour.
Right?
You know, if you put the radar gun up on a pitcher and he throws the ball up here 80 or 90 miles an hour, 9 times out of 10, the ball up here or upstairs would be clocked at 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Down below it would clock a little bit lower. And really, a ball thrown that hard does not bother you, a hitter. If a light, and when I say a light ball, you know, a pitcher can throw a ball 100 miles an hour, it's light, you can get around on it. Some guys throw a ball that is heavy, which runs into you and hits you all over your body when you swing and hit it.
Yeah.
But, you know, a ball thrown hard does not bother you.
Does not bother you, standing in there, looking at the ball 100 miles an hour.
No, it doesn't bother you.
Doesn't bother you.
And if you get hit, it only hurts for a little while.
All right, I'll tell you what. We'll be right back with Hank Aaron, everybody. Early in your career here in Milwaukee. Look at that kid right there. How old are you there?
I was 19.
19. And somebody was telling me this afternoon that by and large your playing weight in the major leagues was 175.
About 10 years, I didn't weigh from 170 to 180 pounds, as much as I weighed.
Wow. And for a slugger, that seems tiny by today's standards.
Well, that's true, but you have to remember that making the kind of money I was making, it was probably from malnutrition.
I think we're getting a little something from the after-dinner speech, aren't we, Hank? Here you are, Willie Mays. Do you guys...
Oh, yeah.
Right there, 2 greatest living players. Were you guys buddies?
Yes, we were.
Where did you get to know...
Will and I got to be very good friends my first year in the big leagues after he came back from the Army. Truly one of the greatest ball players that ever put on a uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really.
You were All-Star 25 times. He was an All-Star 26 times.
Yes, we both played in a lot of All-Star games.
A lot of All-Star games.
Yes, yes, we did.
What about guys like Mickey Mantle? Did you know him, buddies with him?
I knew Mickey well,
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
It's just too bad that he played the last few years with his leg, his bum leg. But Mickey was probably, when he first came up, probably had more ability than any of us. From running, power, and just pure talent. I think that Mickey had everything.
A guy like Mickey Mantle and, well, yourself and anybody who was playing 30 years ago, it's a different world now. He probably would have been taken care of. He would have better care physically for himself, and the team would have looked after him a little more than they did in those days. Do you think that's fair?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you first, when we saw the home run, those kids running on the field. Kids running on the field now is a whole different thing than kids running on the field then.
That's true.
Now it seems automatically dangerous if a kid's on the field.
Yes.
Were you worried about those kids or even aware that those kids were out there?
Well, you know, it's a funny thing about that, David. When the night I hit the home run, there were a policeman that had been with me for the last 2 years because of all the threats I received. And he had a pair of binoculars. He had a pair. Well, he had a attaché case with, and had a snub-nosed 36 in it. And when the kids were running around the bases, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So he called them up the next day and said, "You know, you guys was lucky." And he said, "Thank you." Said, "Thank you very much." Said, "We really appreciate it."
Yeah.
You know.
And then also, I think I know this. At home plate, your mother is at home plate?
Home plate.
Yeah. What was that moment like? I mean, were you surprised to look up and see your mom standing where the catcher ought to be?
She actually, you know, God bless her. She got to home plate before I could get to first base. I don't know what happened. I could see out of the corner of my eyes, and she got there. She was so happy until I really was, and I was excited about her being there. You know.
Were you ever on a show called Home Run Derby?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, many people my age remember that show and loved that show.
Did you?
It was on, I think, in my town Saturday afternoons, and it would be two of the top sluggers from the leagues, and they would actually be competing, hitting home runs. And I think they filmed the show at Wrigley Field out in Los Angeles.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
you won. How much you win on that?
I won. I think on that show I won something like $14,000.
Yeah.
Now, but the story behind that was that being in Milwaukee, I knew that they were going to only give me one chance. They were going to give Mickey Mantle twice. They're going to call him back twice.
Yeah.
They were going to call Willie back twice, Willie Mays back twice. Yeah. And I said, "Henry, you being from Milwaukee, you're going to only get one chance. You better be ready." And sure enough, I was ready, and I won more money. And what I did with the $14,000, I bought my father a grocery store. And the story behind that, he sat, thank you. David, he and I sat in that grocery store after we paid cash for that store, and we counted every little canned good. He was so happy. I mean, he was really thrilled. And of course, he didn't keep it very long, but he bought it and he was satisfied.
How many home runs did you hit to get the 14,000?
Well, it wasn't a home run. I beat 6 competitors. I won more money, and each time you hit a home run, you would get $200 more than what you got before.
Yeah. I just remember anytime somebody would tag a ball and the announcer would say, anywhere in Major League Baseball that would be a base hit, but here on Home Run Derby, it's a long out. What do you got here, Hank? Let me see this.
Oh, this is for you. I wanted to present you with this. This is your own card.
Yeah. You're working
one-on-one.
You're working with the Topps card company?
Yes.
Oh,
one-on-one.
man, I'll cherish this.
Yes.
Look at this.
One-on-one.
This is a collector's item.
And I was gonna swap mine for yours, but yours gonna cost more than mine.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You have a diamond on yours.
Yeah,
right
I know.
Here. Yeah.
And forgive me for saying this, but I throw like a girl.
Yeah.
Geez, it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you've done for baseball.
Thank you very much.
Hank Aaron, everybody. We'll be right back with the Mountain Goats.